here.
Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing well. I have not mastered the new YouTube, so I'm kind of like lame. I haven't mastered it. I just need to figure it out. Anyway, I loved seeing Anne's tree. Hey, Jay. Hey, Arlene. How are you? I loved watching Anne decorate her tree. I loved Beth's ornaments. I loved all of it. It's all been really wonderful. Hi, Carol. Hi, Shelley. Hi, Aunt Beck. I've been feeling really emotional about Lisa myself. And I know we don't know each other in like person. Some of us do, but many of us don't. But we feel so close to each other because of our everyday just being with each other. And, Lisa has been in my prayers, and her family will continue to be in my prayers, as all of you are always. And yeah, I've been contemplating, what to even do. Hey, Miss Kathy. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Sharon. Hi, Laura. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Miss Shelley. Carol, Aunt Beck, Mina, Arlene. Thank you, Arlene. Hi, Mary Lou. So, I have been missing all of you terribly. I'm just the crafting part and hanging out. And I do try to watch people, but may not often get to chat, because if I watch on television, I can't chat. So, and I haven't figured out how to do it, I guess, and pack my stuff. So when Mary said anything Christmas, you guys, I'm so behind in my handmade for Christmas, and my kids expect something. Hey, Jude. Hey, Kimberly. My kids expect something. And so I started making these, I don't know how many years ago. I made them with my kids when they were in school, so that a lot of times, at least as a mom, and I'm just speaking from my experience, not everybody's experience, a lot of times the mom gets left out in the Christmas giving. The kids are too young, and you know what I mean. And so I used to always try to make sure we made one of these books for their mother. So I'll just show you a few. I have a whole pile here. So what they are is they're just a small little altered book, but I used them as a journal. And when I was teaching grade school kids, what I would do is we would collect all of their art, and I would get one of these books for free somewhere, and we would paste their art in here, and then we would paste blank pages for the kids to work with. So I've continued doing it, and I make these for my own kids every year. Hey, Miss Val. Hey, Charlene. It's probably the simplest thing you can make, and it doesn't cost anything. So I like these little tiny, well, and this is one, obviously, it was in progress. I haven't finished it yet. And I sometimes put a little pocket in the back if I'm going to give it to somebody that I know might like to keep or gather things if they journal daily. Sometimes I gesso all the pages, but sometimes I just cut the pages out and glue in different types of paper. So, and then I just stamp or paint, and these I painted with this chalkboard paint that I've had for about 5 years. No, I think I've had it 10 years. It just keeps on growing. So, well, what's sweet about it, Arlene, is that you can put a lot of thought into it, and you don't have to have spent any money. So I made the button. It's a paper mache made button. This is just elastic I got probably at Target, or, it's in the hair section. But I painted this one, but I just sewed it in. So some of them have been a little bit more elaborate than others. This is one I gave one of my kids, and she journals in it. But in hers, I made a fabric pocket and glued it in, right? And then I'm not going to show all the stuff that she wrote in it, but she's drawn a few pictures. She's an artist. So giving her one, she'll just start drawing, and she uses it sort of like a glue book or a catch-all, or she writes different things in it. So they do get used. So I'm going to make one of these with you guys now. Hey, Jamie, how are you, girl? Yeah, and here's another version. And I can't, let me see that. I like the 1 Minute Money Manager. This one's called Someday the Rabbi Will Leave. And you know what? Sometimes I leave the pages in with the books titles and stuff, and sometimes I don't. So this one I painted over, or I think it used it as a roll off book. And I added some scrapbook paper and some magazine pages. And it's just so simple. And you can make it your style. Mine happens to be sort of like grungy, trashy, but you do yours the way you want to do it. They make great art journals, and I will tell you, my kids like it a lot. I mean, they use them every year, so I'm grateful. So the ones I've been kind of working on now, you don't have to paint the covers. Like these covers are really nice. This is the one's called The Mulligan by, oh my gosh, what is this? I think it's one of those Ken Blanchard books. Yep, here it is. A Parable of Second Chances, The Mulligan by Ken Blanchard. So I will tear out some of the pages, leave some of them in, glue stuff over. And this is another one I think I started. This one's called The Passion. Now I may paint this one, but you don't have to. Some of the reason I would paint them is because the covers were just not good. I usually get them in the free section. Sometimes I put little pockets in them. Sometimes this one looks like it needs some work, but it looks like it was a beginning. I think I'm going to work on this one. So this one was called Going to Meet the Man, which I will take a piece of. I think I'm going to take some sort of fabric and cover the spine, So how are you guys? How are you, Miss Beth? I loved your felting. I love felting. I haven't done it in years, though. I love it. Love felting. Now I'm going to use I use magazine pages, scrapbooking paper, just copy paper. Now I find it best. I think double stick tape works the best, but when you do it, you do what works for you, because sometimes I've used glue stick, and glue stick can work well, but you can't really finish one in a sitting. You have to let them really dry and cure. And if you're last minute like me, it takes a little longer. So you have to plan a little more. So I just glue my pages right into the book. And so those of you know I'm moving. It has been so ridiculous, the amount of stuff that I want to keep that I can't. It's crazy. Hi, Kathy. How are you? You can't find your box of washi? Oh, girl, please. I couldn't. I said, oh, I'm going to make this book. I think I mailed myself all my stamps. The only stamps I can find are these. And these are great stamps. I don't use them very often. So the other thing I like to do is, say you want to leave a lot of the paper and you don't want to glue on the front. You want to glue underneath because you have some nice blank space. Then just take your stamps, or make yourself a stamp. Like I made myself this one out of foam, out of, this, what is this? Fun foam. And then you can this is a fish. Yeah, I was looking for my stamps. Blake says, I mailed you. He said you had a box of the ones you said you wanted, so I mailed them all to you. Mailed to our new house. So kind of on the short end of the making, the supplies that I would normally go to. So I'm going to make maybe 2 or 3 of these books, and that's going to be the extent of my holiday doing. Oh, I'm glad to be back online. I've been enjoying watching you guys, but I'm packing all my stuff up, so I watch on the television, and I know there must be a way to chat, but I don't. I think I have to connect a keyboard. And you guys, I'm using this double stick tape. I think is carpet tape. I got it I got it at Habitat for Humanity a million years ago. They had like a huge box of it for like $5. So I bought all of it. I got the box. I took the box of it for $5. I figured I'll just use that in my crafts. If you guys have, runner tape or whatever, it works good too. And I think this is a good way to use up some of the things that you've held near and dear to yourself, like me and my Flow magazine pages that I haven't used. But you guys kind of get the idea, right? Make a cute pocket. This book happens to be really old, so the pages are super soft. You stream from your phone to the TV and chat on your phone. See, I knew that. I knew there must be some. Something you could do in there. I just am. You guys, I can't even get my. Maybe one of you guys can tell me this. How do you disable the live chat after you finished? It used to be it was right there in a button. Now I don't even see it. So it makes it. It's just ridiculous. What is this stamp? This just looks like mark making. Yeah, hold on. Meri, I'm telling you, when you live in the tropics, when you find something, you're like, I'm going for it. I'm buying the whole thing. You're like, whoa. You're like, that is so good. We don't get those kind of bargains very often, but occasionally if you hit Habitat for Humanity, you may like get a whole plethora of crazy things. Hey, Melissa, how are you? So I think the only other homemade Christmas present that I had planned on making, which I haven't, you guys, I've only cut some of the pieces. I haven't even really started it, is I wanted to make my youngest daughter a quilt out of old blue jeans. When we first moved here to Hawaii, I used to do art fairs and sell my jewelry, and you need like tablecloths and all this stuff. And you guys, there was like wasn't much, so I had a friend whose husband lost a tremendous amount of weight, and one day I happened to run into her, and we were talking about like I don't know what, and she was like, I have all his jeans, and he was a very big man. So I made these I made the table runners out of his jeans, and I have these enormous tablecloths that I made out of jeans. And you guys, we live in the tropics now, but we're moving to North Carolina. So it is definitely going to be colder there than it is here. So that was my only one thing I'm actually going to try to make. I've cut the swatches up from that big. I did happen to find a bag of washi tape today, which made me super happy. I'm just going to cut up some of the pants, and I'm going to make her like a rag quilt. Have any of you guys made a rag quilt before? It's where you sew it all, and then you don't sew the edges and it rags. I think I'm going to go for that. Because this book is so old, I'm going to put some tape there too. Hi, Diana. I have to go into customization in a sidebar. Oh, gosh. Meri, I did check advanced things because that's where you used to find it before, and I couldn't find it. And I just was like, is it because I've had so much difficulty with this little Logitech camera in my new computer that I thought maybe I was just, and they change stuff all the time. And because I hadn't been streaming so much, I was like, maybe I missed doesn't it frustrate? I mean, I know somebody's going to go, oh, it's just because of my age, but I kind of get annoyed that YouTube changes stuff all the time. I think when it finally works good and then they change it, I'm like, why did they do that? I mean, I'm not the only one that feels that way, am I? I'm not the only one that feels like Why is YouTube fixing something that's not broken? I don't know, you guys. It's so crazy. I get so annoyed sometimes with it though, especially if they change it and I haven't been doing it for a while. I'm just like, you guys, you can't mess this gift up. And it's kind of a nice way to give somebody, especially if your family members are not really art collectors. It's a nice way to give them a piece of your artwork without having to have them frame it and put it on the wall. I always try to include like some handmade ATCs. Not that they even know, not that they even have an inkling of what an ATC is or not. You know, this book was so thin. I didn't see the date on it, but it feels super thin. YouTube isn't unable to save your video from tonight. What? Oh my gosh. Really? Really, Beth? That is so frustrating. That is incredibly frustrating. So I hope you guys make one of these books. I use these as my own personal art journal. Sometimes I make them with I get some cool papers in the mail sometimes. Some of you guys send me the most amazing like old pages and papers and sometimes I just put them right into a book like this. I've done it before where I've even put in a like what you would put in for a twine binding. Sometimes I've twined, you can add, because you've torn some of the pages out, you can just add a twine binding a couple of times and add some cards in it too. I have to tell you, the ones that really receive it the best are little kids. You should see, like I've made them for, especially if like just whatever their hobbies are, it doesn't even matter. They receive these books and you should, the looks on their faces, it makes it all worth doing because the looks on their faces are so beautiful. They're so touched. It's so sweet. You know what I mean, right? Little kids. It's been the first time. Beth, I don't know. YouTube and I are not, yeah. I've had some run-ins with YouTube lately with my own frustration. So, but I would definitely tell you, especially if you have a child, like say under the age of 10, spend the time to make one for them. I sometimes put my little crazy paper clips in them. And then I'll give them with like a set of pens, like a set of markers, a cheap set of markers, or a set of crayons, or anything like that, because little kids are all about that. And so I just give it with that. Mary says, Beth, your thing is on her playlist. So, well, that's good to know. It's somewhere. It's good to know it's not totally lost in the ethers. Somebody I watch on a regular basis who's not a crafter, and they're all into doing Vlogmas. She was saying that YouTube deleted her, and she's got a lot of subscribers, like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, not like me. And she said YouTube deleted her one of her Vlogmas days, and nothing happened in it. I mean, it was just a live stream. So are any of you guys making anything for Christmas? I usually try to make my kids Christmas ornaments, but this year there is no Christmas ornament going on. I don't even know exactly where we hope we'll be in our home in North Carolina on Christmas, but I'm not 1,000% sure. We have a bunch of stuff to do and get done, but yeah, our goal is to try to leave by December 21st, but we'll see if that really happens. Sorry, I'm not doing something super exciting. Mine's probably the simplest of anybody's makes, but I thought I would just take advantage to hang out with you guys and make a couple of last minute gifts. Buying a house, you're not really thinking about you're going to make some prism sun catchers. Oh, nice. Yeah, Beck, how's your sewing going? I saw some of the things that you were working on. I'm so excited to get back to having an art room. I mean, I know it's not going to be for a little while, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about being able to. I've already like started planning my craft room out, planning my space. I'm getting excited about it. So makes me feel like it's something to look forward to. Hi, Barb. How are you? We missed you, girl. How are you? We all miss you so much. How are you? How is RL? How's Claus Man? You made 3 tops and 1 dress for your new So Festive. And you have a red dress? Ooh. I saw you gave me some time, and Mary, I started to cry because I said, Mary did this for me because she knows how much I've missed you. I will actually maybe finish this book. But Anne, you inspired me today. I'm gonna get my shizzle together to make those little diorama boxes of my family. Those were so cute. Did you guys see her idea? Did you guys see her Christmas ornaments? They're just stunning. She did all these Christmas ornaments um, with photos of her family. It takes you more than a quick second. Well, we love you. We're all always here. We love you, Barb. You know that. We love you and we all miss you. Now, you guys make sure that if you're not subscribed to the people in the hop, make sure you do. But also make sure if you're not subscribed to Mary's, you subscribe because Mary is hosting the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day hop. And I signed up for a spot on New Year's Day. And you guys, I don't know what I'm going to craft, but it'll be fun. I don't know what I'm going to actually craft, but it will be fun. It will totally be fun. I feel like I've gone through my supplies and I've like reacquainted myself with things that I'm like, wow, I loved this. Why don't I use it more? How many of you guys are like that? I'll put one of these. You guys, I know this. You guys know I love the Shade Store catalog. I am in love with the Shade Store catalog. Don't ask me why. I think it's just the patterning, but I loved this one. I need to cut it a little smaller, but I loved it. And so I was like, okay, I'm putting a piece in my book. I'm putting a piece of the Shade Store catalog in my book. It was very special to me. Oh, we love you, Barb. Who is it that was talking about making Christmas cards today? You guys, I am so if I'm able to actually get any Christmas cards done, they'll be like the ones I'll be the person that you get it from like after Christmas. I'll be the one that you get it from in January. Oh, Barb, you're one of somebody's art heroes. That is so beautiful. Mary, I am so glad that snow globe book finally made it your way. You know what? I got that for you like a couple years ago. I found it. I was like, oh, I have to give this Mary. And then with my crazy work, the pandemic, and then my crazy work, and then having my kids come home, I sometimes tell me if any of you guys do this. Sometimes I put things like I go, this is going to be a safe place for my whatever, and then I can't find it. My safe places, or it's like I don't know, it's like computer passwords or something. Terrible at it. I'm glad it's inspiring you. Hi, Darla Kay. How are you? You're just finishing up responsibilities and arriving. Yes, I didn't get up this morning. I planned on it, but I'm telling you, I've been staying up so late just packing and purging. It's been intense. Hey, New Year's cards sound so good. I'm glad you like it, Mary. I found you that, and I found that silly. I think I sent you a snow globe stamp too. And I'm not, you guys, we don't really find things here. Okay. It's not like we have like the crafty maven, whatever to go and find. It just doesn't exist. And when I saw that snow globe book, I was like, okay, I'm getting this for Mary. And then, then I found the snow globe stamp somewhere else. I'm like, okay. It's so silly. But it was inspiring. And then I was talking to a friend of mine about who she happened to call me when I was actually looking for it. I said, I said, either I hope I mailed it to myself, or because when my kids were here, do any of you guys have this? When your kids come, they like rearrange your whole kitchen because whatever, like my kids do it every time. And sometimes my oldest daughter, and I love her so much, she throws out my stuff. Okay. Because she is a minimalist, and obviously I'm not. If I'm crafting with recyclables, I'm not a minimalist. Well, she's a minimalist, and she gets herself all wound up when I have stuff and whatever. And so I was hoping that she didn't get a hold of that book and throw it away, because when you have kids like I do, they do stuff like that. Oh, the Shade Store catalog. I have it somewhere right around here. You guys, I don't keep a lot of things, but the Shade Store catalog, it has all of these patterns in it. If I pulled some pages out of it earlier. It's probably in a box over there. Anyway, I don't think I have it on my desk. Maybe I do. I have an Audubon, a Natural History, and a Nat Geo. Will you look and see if my Shade Store catalog's right there? It should be like right on top if it is.
I don't know what a Shade Store catalog is, but I'll look.
Shade Store catalog is a catalog that it's just for like blinds and stuff, but they have great patterning. It's not a regular. No, it's like tiny. Well, sometimes they come thick, but I don't think the one I have left is thick because I think I've torn pages out of it. It's around here close by because I tore some pages out of it earlier today. Okay. If you can't see it, it's okay. No, so I like the Shade Store catalog. It just, for whatever reason, it has all these like weird patterns and colors, and I don't know, it works for me. I love to use it in collage and art and stuff like that. You bookmarked the playlist? Aw, you're so sweet. You move everything in your daughter's kit. That's not a Shade Store catalog. That is one of my. Oh, hand me that. I'm going to show them that. If you guys ever get one of these, I'm going to tell you won't be sorry. Okay, I'm not taking very much with me because you guys know I'm moving from Hawaii to North Carolina. Don't ask me where I got this, okay? But it's like a photographer's book, like a book of people's photographs, and I think it's like a lookbook, I think. And oh my gosh, you guys, I have like 2 different ones, and I love it. And I've cut up pictures and images from this and used this in my work. All kinds of collage. It is, I don't know where I got it though. It is called, what is it called? Let's find the name of it. It is it just called Image? Tony Stone. Let's see, what is it called? Tony Stone Images is what it's called. I don't know where I got it, but you guys, I have to say, definitely taking it with me. I mean, it's like inchy heaven, patterning heaven. So I'm guessing people can look at this and then use these stock photos for their illustrations. When I get here, you get settled. Aww. Girl, you guys are so welcome to my house anytime for lunch. I would love to make you some lunch or meet you anywhere, Miss Aunt Beck. But anyway, that's one of my treasures I'm taking. So I've gone through my stuff and I'm like, okay, what am I taking? And not a lot. You guys, it's so expensive to ship like stuff that you would really love to take, but it's just not feasible. It just doesn't make sense. I only have a fish. I have these little scratchers. I have a heart. Yeah, the shade store. I'll find it. If you ever go back and look at some of my videos, you'll see it's like one of my go-to, and it's free. You can order it online. Just order a shade store catalog online. And then they also send you shade store samples if you want that, and those are pretty cool too. They're like all kinds of blinds and shade samples, but you can use them as pockets. You can sew on them. You can use them in your mixed media. I mean, they're really cool. They're super, super cool. I'm definitely going to have to tape something in here. The only thing about making this book with an old book is the pages are much more brittle in an older book. You know what I mean? So you might want to reinforce it with masking tape. And I really loved that you shared all of your family traditions. I think that's so great. It's so cool how we all have like different ways we celebrate the holidays. I appreciate you sharing. My family, my parents were very, my parents were fairly liberal. And so like this came from the shade store catalog and I liked it because it was a couch. I know it's silly, but I did. I came from a fairly liberal family, but at the holidays, my mom it was very important for her for us to follow the traditions her parents had, or whoever her parent. We would spend the holidays with her parents. So we followed their traditions, which was similar to yours, Anne, except that we opened the presents. We opened the presents from our family on Christmas Eve, and then we went to bed. Santa Claus came in the morning. But with my own kids, you guys, it was a free for all. Sandra, you can take anything you want with you, but put it this way, just to ship, like, if I was going to take all my craft supplies, it would probably, like, we looked into getting a partial container. So we were looking at maybe 200 square feet of things, which is not a lot. And it was like $9,000. So you kind of weigh it, especially because I craft with recycled materials. I mean, yes, I did collect them all, but I collected them all, but if we were going to ship the entirety of our house, like all of our furniture, it would have been close to $25,000. Val's here. Val's moving from Hawaii to Arizona, right, Val? I mean, when I looked into and we don't even have a lot of stuff, but when I looked into maybe it was about 40 boxes of stuff, it was about $9,000. So I'm just picking and choosing what I'm taking, and it's okay. I mean, it really is okay. It's not that big of a deal. Love the couch, right? I don't know why. Me and I have to have furniture and chairs and whatever my thing. Yeah, so I mean, it's okay. It was a good thing because it made both of us just go through and really take a look at what we had and decide what we were going to keep. I'm in Hawaii, right? If I just lived, if I was just moving from like say the East Coast to the West Coast, I would have just packed my stuff and taken it. You know, I would have just taken all of it. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have even let any of it go. You've moved 3 times in the last 3 years, and you've brought it with me. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's crazy. What might take me 3 loads and 1 tank of gas to take it in your own truck. You called college hunks about picking up a truckload to take it to the homeless shelter thrift store for us, and they wanted $3,500. What? That's crazy. Well, I know it is crazy. But I do have some store-bought craft supplies, but not as many. I think I definitely have more recycled bits, right? So in my recycling, my love to recycle and to find treasures that are made from recycled things, I've let a lot of it go right now, and it was hard earlier, but it's getting easier. And your stream was lovely. We loved it, and you were so lovely, and I miss you terribly. And you haven't missed anything from my sales except if you wanted wallpaper books, wallpaper books, and miscellaneous odd things. I didn't realize. Did any of you guys ever go? I didn't realize how many odd things I actually collect, or how many things I've amassed. Hey, Miss Cassandra. Okay, the only thing is when you cut out all these pages, you may have some sticking out. So you may have to trim more at the end. For me, it's not so bothersome, but I have quite a few little bits here. Let me see what other pages and papers I have around. How about envelope? How many of you guys save or enjoy saving security envelopes? That I love too. I don't know why, but I really do. I have a thing for it. So do you guys all exchange presents with your friends? I was having a whole debating conversation with one of my daughters about exchanging presents with your friends, and I said I don't really like to do it. I love to do birthday presents for my friends, but I said for Christmas you never know what kind of when it rains it storms kind of thing happens to you around that, and I don't want to feel obligated if it's not. I mean, of course some baked home baked cookies is great. You started going through them, throwing them away. You have too many. Oh, girl, I know it. I did too. Kept a handful. I had to. Some of them I got when I was traveling, and the insides of them were so just unique. I had never seen them. Some of them you guys sent me, and I've kept those. Somebody sent me, I want to say it was Norma, but I might be wrong. She sent me ones that were green. Oh my God, I love them. She sent me 2 or 3 of them, and I've kind of hoarded them. I think I have a half of a piece of one left after all the after everything I put in my art. So because I'm beautifully odd, girl, I'm telling you, I didn't realize. You guys, do you ever know how eccentric you really are? I truly did not acknowledge, or I don't know. I didn't realize how truly eccentric I am. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, you're you, right? But I look at all the stuff that I find, the struggles that I've had to let go of stuff. It's silly. It's all my clothes, not a big deal. Kitchen pots and pans. Okay, I wanted to take, at least one of my cast iron skillets that I've used for 30 years. I think I'm going to use the front of this natural history magazine too. I like it. But you guys, it's insane. It's truly insane. I look at some of the stuff I have and I'm like, whoa, where did it come from and what was I thinking? Obviously not thinking anything, but that's where I'm. It's silly. New England thrift. Am I New England thrift? I think I'm a little bit worse than that. A couple of friends don't get, when we go out for lunch and dinner instead of gifts. That's lovely. For me, it's just, I was trying to explain to her that you can't keep up with somebody. Like trying to say to her, a gift that you make or a gift that you give from your heart, whether they accept it that way or whatever is beside the point. But when you start feeling like you have to keep up with somebody, I said, that's the wrong reason to give a gift. And to give a gift out of obligation is even worse. So, that's the way I feel. Okay. So I just said to her, if it was me, your kids in their 20s don't listen to you anyway, or at least mine don't. Maybe you guys are luckier than me. But I just said, if it was me, I don't know that I would even, you want to give somebody a gift that is meaningful, but you don't need to go broke doing it. Right? I'm going to stick this one in here. I used to be married to somebody that was from Boston. His mother was definitely Yankee thrift. I'm telling you, she could recycle. She gave me some amazing lessons in recycling. I mean, I always had a tendency toward it, but she was awesome. She was such a recycler that she went to, let's see which way, I think I like the movement better this way. She went to their town board because they weren't recycling. Those little plastic grocery bags, which are actually against the law here in Hawaii now, but weren't for many years. She went to the board of her town or whatever it's called there, and she raised a ruckus until they found a way, at least in her town, to make the supermarkets recycle those plastic bags. And so when she would gather her plastic bags and take them back. Well, seasoned cast iron, anything is a keeper. Yes. If you feel obligated, you freeze up. Well, for me, obligation sometimes is like, I overthink it. Then I start like going, oh gosh, you guys have all been in that place where you've felt like you have to give somebody a gift and that you have to, it's just too much. So I'd much rather do a birthday and you guys, I only send Christmas cards. This is going to sound so terrible. I only send Christmas cards out to my friends' children and to their parents, to their elderly parents. Because when I was married the first time around, at one point, my then husband, he was a college professor, and that was a whole other thing. And then another point, he always worked in the entertainment industry, the movie industry. And sometimes, like if he was working on a movie during the holidays or right before the holidays, there could be thousands of people on that crew. Or he worked for a television series once too. And it was too much, because you're basically, if you leave out one person, it becomes like a snub, and then it was too much. So I stopped, made my rule, only people's like elderly parents or if they have children. And I would address the card to the children. I don't address it to the parents. So, But this year, I don't even know. I have one friend that I'm definitely going to send her son a Christmas card. But I think he's like 8. And he always makes us a card in return, which is so sweet. Okay, I'm liking it so far. I think I could do a pocket in the back. And definitely, I have somewhere, hopefully I didn't let it go. Have you ever gotten that? It's almost like masking tape, and it might even be made by Tim Holtz, but it's almost like surgical tape. You know how it has that like sort of clothy feel to it? I love that to hold together my books. And I do have some. When I went to look for my stamps today, you guys, I only kept a handful. I really did not keep hardly anything. Blake said to me, I think I already mailed them to you. I was like, you did? He was like, well, you said you wanted to keep some and you had a pile. I was like, well, thank you. But if you ever get that makes amazing washi tape, that surgical tape. If you can get it for cheap, it's kind of like a paper tape. Don't buy it don't pay a lot for it. It's my point. I still got some ways to go here. I got some ways to go. I thought I brought over here with me, but probably didn't. I thought I brought an old magazine to make an envelope with, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I'll just have to make it out of whatever's here. Yeah, New Year's cards sound better, Mary Lou. Gaffer tape. Yes. Yes, it works great. You whistling at me? Who's whistling at me? New York has no plastic bags? Nobody's whistling at me. Nobody's whistling here. The wind's blowing. The wind is pretty strong. It is. When the trade winds blow, it's strong. Oh, that's a cute piece. I wonder if I can sew that. If I can. This is a cute one too. But this magazine is not so thick, but we'll see. We'll see if I can make an envelope out of it to fit in here. Let's see which part of the image I want. Oh, maybe I can make it this way, and then I can keep the whole image. All right, let me see how big this page is. Do you have a bird, or is it? No, there's no TV on. There are lots of birds here. I mean, nobody's whistling that I can tell, but there are birds here. I mean, there are birds in the tropics for sure. Nobody's whistling though, and I don't have a television on. It could be you know what? You could be hearing, I don't hear it, but it could be anything. Yes, my neighbors have chickens. That my neighbors definitely have chickens. Can you hear them? I don't, I'm so kind of immune to it because I just am. Because I live it. So I'm not so aware of it as you are. We definitely have chickens. Hawaii has a lot of feral chickens, feral cats and feral chickens. Did you guys know that? Feral cats and feral chickens. Yes, we have tons. Oh, is that what you heard? It's like a peep peep? Yeah, that's somebody's little baby chicks. Yeah, I definitely, there's some baby chicks that live next door. So the chickens are wild, you guys. There's nothing you could do about it. The chickens are wild. So you just live with it. That's all you can do. It's somebody's baby chicks. It's like living in New York City and listening to the traffic. Do you hear the traffic anymore, Cassandra? You've lived there a long time. Like you can sleep through all the sirens and everything else. Yeah, they're free roaming chickens everywhere. You guys, you just can't get away from it. There's free roaming chickens everywhere. You know what? This paper is so thin that I'm thinking I might glue another piece to it. It's just too thin. I might just glue some of my white paper to it so that when it doesn't get ripped up. Very quiet but audible. Well, guys, I live in the tropics. And when you live in the tropics, there is like not, I don't know. Even though you could live in a neighborhood, it's really much more rural than you can imagine. Even if your neighbors, like the house I live in now is in probably one of the busier neighborhoods. My neighbors are fairly close, but they have chickens. They have chickens, or we have wild chickens, or it's just how it rolls here. And I guess I've lived here for so long, I don't even think about it. Like you're saying you hear it, but I don't even hear it. I don't even hear it. I think the past few live sales I've had, there's been like the neighbor's rooster has just been going crazy. The neighbor's rooster he's having a free for all. Yeah. We have feral chickens and feral cats here. And probably a lot of other things too, but definitely feral chickens and feral cats. So let me think what else I can tell you. Besides the fact that I'm super excited to move into my house. I have had somebody house sitting, and she is so lovely, and I'm grateful. But you guys, I want to live in my house. I'm ready to move into my house, okay? So we've been, she calls me every couple days and lets me know, like, whatever it is, anything, and it's very sweet. She is very sweet. We feel like super fortunate to have found somebody that would house sit for us. You have quiet neighbors. It's nice to hear some wildlife. Oh, in my old house, the house that I lived at before this, you guys, I had these huge trees right outside. Our whole house looked like a rainforest jungle. I mean, it was beautiful. But the birds would, at some point in the day, usually in the afternoon, would just, come in to roost. And those birds can talk to each other like it's like they're like going for it, When you hear those birds, they're like having their own like little bird party line or fussing at each other. And people used to say, "Oh, I love your birds," and I was like, "They're not my birds. Can't do anything to control it." You didn't have cats with plenty of chickens. Well, it's a really bad problem. I mean, problem from the fact that people need to catch, and now there's many more catch and release programs here. So that's helping. I think they had a similar problem in Japan, and they found that the best way to combat it was catch and release. Catch, neuter, and catch, fix, and release. So I think as far as my little quilt project that I'm going to make is going, I'm going to have to like really get on it and I've cut some of that tablecloth up. Guys, it's just big, huge, different color pieces of jeans. And I'm going to cut them into squares, or I haven't decided squares or rectangles. So that I have to worry about, squares or rectangles. And so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to sew them like you do a rag rug. So if any of you guys have seen a rag rug, maybe I'll put this one in here. I'm going to sew them like a rag rug. Need to cut off a little more. And then wash them. So I may do it in chunks, like maybe do it in 10 by 10 blocks. Sewing machine. And so I can put my washer. Have any of you guys ever made a rag quilt? You only wake up for Olivia? That's awesome. If that's all the only thing that wakes you up, Cassandra, that is brilliant. No, I don't wake up anymore for my family. I mean, for my youngest daughter, yes, I still do. Like if she's at a birthday party or if she's somewhere and she's out with friends or I definitely stay awake. But I think I'm getting better as far as neighbor. It has to be something really pretty predominant for me to wake up for my neighbors. So this will be the envelope, and I'll just have to glue the sides down. I could make a different size. I could have made like a regular envelope, but I don't know. I think this one might be fine. So tell me what you guys are doing. How are you guys going to celebrate this year? Are you getting together with family? Are you getting together with friends? What are you guys going to do? I mean, I took a general poll of my kids. My oldest daughter's in Panama right now, and I don't think they're coming back to the U.S. until sometime in January or February. And my littlest daughter, she's so sweet, but she's not really big on holidays. So when I said to her, what do you want to do? Especially after we've had this whole move thing, she was kind of like, I'm golden just as things are. Justin and the kids are coming. Oh, they're coming to New York? Wow. Christmas is on a Saturday. Wow. Mary, you know what? I didn't even know. Is that terrible? I did not even know. I did not know. I did not know. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and glue this together. Or I think you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to washi tape the sides of it. You know why? Then it'll definitely hold. It'll definitely hold. You'll be helping your 94-year-old mother-in-law make dinner. Ah, is your brother-in-law planning to come in from Tennessee? That's so nice. That's awesome. You imagine a queen rag quilt for my son? You made one? How did it come out when he graduated from college? Black and white. Well, mine's just going to be jeans, and then I haven't decided. Okay, so give me some advice then. I think I'm going to glue this part down. Did you? How many layers did you rag? Because with jeans, they're kind of heavy. So I was thinking, would it be enough just to do a flannel back and the jean? Because then when you rag it, it's just those 2 layers. Or do I need to put a third one in the middle? Your partner's having hand surgery on the 22nd, so you're probably spending part of Christmas at your daughter's. Oh, how nice! How nice you get to be with your daughter though and your grandkids, right, Mary Lou? I think I'm just going to tape these down. I guess I could glue them, but I think this washi might be a better solution. Yeah, so I just don't know whether I should do, because and the other part of me is thinking this. Do you know how heavy that thing is going to be by the time I finish it? So do I do it in 10-inch blocks and then wait till I get to North Carolina to sew the 10-inch blocks together to fit on the bed? Because think about how heavy that is. And how did you wash it? Did you and the other thing is, like, did you take it to a laundromat to do it? Did you, to put it in the dryer? I mean, those have been my contemplative questions on making a The one you made was quilting fabric, top, bottom layer of flannel, batting. Oh, cool. Yeah, mine's just these old jeans. So that's why I'm like super excited about that because I get to use them up. Yeah, so, yep. Yeah, it'll be very heavy made from jeans. Yeah, I agree. But see, this is the thing. What do I do with them otherwise? I mean, it's a lot of jeans. It's not like a minute of jeans. It is serious amount of jeans. I mean, I used to cover 2 8-foot tables with it. And what made me think about it was, you guys, we live in the tropics, so we're not used to the cold weather. The cold weather and us are not. And I realized that Asheville is not really cold because I know somebody was like saying, I live in wherever and it gets like this and this and this. But when you've lived in a temperate climate like we have for the 12, 13 years we've been here, it makes a big difference. So I thought, well, those jeans, and plus I don't know, maybe it's just my silly sentimentality that is making me hold on to the jeans. Okay, one kind of envelope. I need to do some of this. How many of you guys can cut a straight line? I can't. I can sew anything. I can sew a straight line, but cutting a straight line, I don't know what it is. My eyes just don't see it straight. So I have one little envelope that I can tuck some stuff in. Sometimes I make those paper, I make the paper pouch in it. I don't know why I didn't with this one, but I didn't. I wasn't thinking, I guess. I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about it. It will be cold. It'll be much more cold for me. I'm sure because guys, it was down to 58 here last week, and we all thought we were like in a blizzard. Okay, we were all like, I had to find blankets. You'd use the jeans on top and add a nice quality flannel for the backing without any batting, so technically it wouldn't be a quilt. Well, wouldn't when you sew it together, it would be a quilt? I mean, I have a summer quilt my grandmother made me. It doesn't have any batting in it. I have a quilt that my grandmother's mother made it for, I'm assuming, her or my dad or one of them. But it's from it is old, and it's beautiful, and it's multiple pieces of fabric, but it doesn't have any batting in it because it was considered a summer quilt. Because I grew up, my family is from the South, and where my grandparents lived, it was hot. You know. It feels like I'm cutting straight, but I'm usually not. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm like definitely, I get it. I'm over it. I used to drive myself crazy. But what's so frustrating is I can just say to Blake, hey, will you cut this for me? Without even looking, you guys, he cuts it straight. If replied or asked a question, I miss the battery on the laptop. They put on me. No, I was just saying I have a summer quilt, is what I was saying, Darla, that doesn't have any batting in it. It just has fabric. It's it's got a front and a back. It's hand pieced on the front and it has a solid piece on the back, but it's not, doesn't have any batting in it. It's considered a summer quilt. And I never heard anything different. Oh, Mary Lou, you and I think are the same person. I really do, honestly. If you're asking why I'm putting tape, I wouldn't normally put this much tape, but these pages are so brittle that the book pages, the ones that I'm using to glue my paper to. So get yourself one of those 1 minute money managers. Since COVID hit, our little used bookstore has had like they hardly take they're taking less donations, and they used to have like a space outside where they would offer those books to you, you know, and they don't do it now. So my 1 minute money manager fix is no longer around. my 1 minute money manager, and another good book that works is, one of those Susie Orman, and those are usually free too. Those Susie Orman financial advising books, they're usually free. That one's a good one too. All right, let's see how many pages I have. And I have to go back and trim it. I know I do. And I should probably make a pocket for the front. But I don't know whether I should make it in fabric or whether I should make it in paper. Oh, without 3 layers. I never heard that. Come from a long line of quilters, never heard that. So maybe then she would have called it a coverlet. I don't know. Okay, so I just think if I put batting in it, I don't even know that I could put 2 layers I could put like I don't know, jeans are heavy. I was just thinking, like, what could she put on her bed and use that would be, that would take the place of multiple blankets and still be kind of cool instead of being like, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to put any batting in it because I think it might be too thick as it is, but we'll see. I've just cut the squares out, you guys. I haven't even started quilting it because I haven't had a chance to, because I had to figure out what I was going to take and what I wasn't going to take. And that was stressful, figuring out that. So I still have piles of iffy stuff, like, should I take it? Should I not take it? Kind of thing like that. I still have piles of that in this house. You know what I might do? This one definitely needs some pages, but it's like, so they're so thin. It's just, maybe I'll do 2 together. Let me see how that works. Maybe it's when you have to sit down and decide what you're actually going to take, it's sort of a surprising moment. At the end, hopefully we're definitely going to be out of here by the end of this month. I just don't know. We're hoping that we'll be leaving Hawaii on the 21st, and we're hoping we would have left before now, but I didn't even know. Have you guys ever have this happen? You commit to doing something and then you have big life changes. So I committed to teaching a class, to staffing a class on the Big Island on the 18th and 19th of December. And then we bought a house. And so it was kind of like, do we fly all the way back here just for those few days? Or, that was kind of like where we were contemplating. Do we fly back here for the couple of days to teach the class, or do we just stay until then and leave? And then some other things transpired, like vetting our animals. The school we were going to put our daughter in suddenly didn't have any room. Just a lot of just weird things where you go, okay, is this the universe telling me I should just go ahead, stay till the class is done, and then go? Am I going to miss Hawaii? Yeah, of course. I mean, I love Hawaii, but I've lived here going on 13 years, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place, but it's very isolating at times, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but all of our kids, with the exception of the one that's still at home, the majority of our children live on the mainland, and they're all becoming ages to start families and that sort of thing. So, I mean, it wasn't that we made the decision lightly, but I think we made it based on how we hope our future will look, how we both want to be there for our kids and our grandkids, that kind of thing. And not that they wouldn't come and visit us, they do, but you think the layers and the lines of the stitch would make it a quilt? Yes. It would be too heavy with batting, I agree. Yeah, Darlie, I have a Facebook group. Let me see. Is anybody in here? I'm not seeing. Let me just hang on a second. I'll put my Facebook group in there. Hold on. Let's see. Sorry, guys. They're ad heavy. They're ad friendly here right now. They're every time even if you don't put ads on your channel, they reserve the right to put ads on your channel. Even if you're not monetized, it's ridiculous. And even if you are monetized, it doesn't matter. Here, let me see. I'll put the link to our Facebook group, or the Facebook group I have in there. And I think I got it, Jamie. There it is. Where's my middle daughter? She moved to Arkansas, Cassandra. Oh, you guys, we have to have a conversation about that one day. She has, having lived most of her life in New York City and gone to boarding school in Vermont, and finding herself in Arkansas. That's where her husband's family is from. Half of her husband's mother lives here. So he grew up here. But her husband's father's family lives in Arkansas. And she has had her own experience. And all I can tell you is that she was like, Mom, thank you for raising me the way you did, which I was like, okay. So, I mean, it's not that she doesn't like living in Arkansas. She's got a great place to live, and his family's lovely to her and all that. It's just if you've grown up in a really metropolitan, like Hawaii's not metropolitan, but we certainly get our share of, we're a small island, but my little island gets millions of visitors every year. So some of the visitors you meet are from all over the world. So there can be like some, you know what I mean? Like you're exposed to people that have traveled more and done more things. She's definitely having her own moment, her own culture shock, which we all tried to talk to her about, but kids in their 20s, they don't listen. Yeah. And Blake has 2 sons, and they live in Oregon. So maybe I'll use a thicker magazine because this one was so thin. They live one of them lives in Portland. They both were living in Portland. I'm not, one of his sons was moving, so I'm not exactly sure where they had decided what they were going to do. You're not happy about the ads? And they come on, you don't even have any choice. They just they put them on. They just put them on. You don't even have a choice. I think used to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, but used to be if you could opt out of having ads if you weren't monetized. But I think now they just run ads on anybody's channel. The only difference is if you're not monetized, YouTube keeps all the money. Not that you. When I first started doing YouTube, the money was definitely better than it is now. That's all I can say. I mean, you could go, oh, I might make $1,000 a year off my YouTube channel. Now, I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys pipe in and you tell me. Maybe you guys are all making bank. I just haven't been making any videos. So you have to make you have to make content. You have to it's crazy. So put it this way, if we live on the mainland, we'll get more chances of babysitting if our children ever do decide to have kids. if our children ever decide to give us a grandchild, we'll be closer to babysitting. No, the real reason we're leaving is our daughter that's in high school. She asked us, she said to me, Mom, I want to have a different experience. She's only gone to school here in Hawaii. She's only lived in Hawaii. She said, I want to have a different experience. And so we listened, or we're listening. So that's really it. You know? And she's our last one. They announced that ad policy several weeks ago. Oh, it's frustrating, right? It's so frustrating. You're like, what? You're like, you don't even opt for it. You're making a slideshow for church, and every time I linked a video, it came with ads. Oh no. It's frustrating from the aspect of if you don't want to, if that wasn't your thing, you don't want to put ads on your channel, you should have that choice. But YouTube has decided otherwise. So it is what it is. You know, YouTube is still a really good platform. I know it's gotten a lot more commercial. I know it's gotten a lot more I don't know. I mean, it used to be super cool. It used to be like a place where you could go and comment on somebody's video and then it would make a difference for you. Like, you know, anyway, I still love it because it's one way that I can hang out with you guys. I do believe that if something else comes up, like Ustream, does anybody know why Ustream stopped? I mean, I don't know because I was never really a streamer on there, but I certainly enjoyed watching streams of people on there. Is Ustream now only for paid content? Guys, I'm so out of the loop. I don't watch anything enough anymore to know the ins and outs of it all, but I thought I had, I thought I had brought this card stock with me over here that I was really going to put in here because it's like these really, just trying to use up some of the stuff that I had, and I thought, oh, here it is. I was going to say, no, I brought it with me, but I just couldn't find it. Okay, Darla, when somebody, I'm not over there, but I will approve you when I get over there. I think tonight there were a lot of live sales, and so I think that some of the people that might normally be here as a mod or not, that are mods in my group. Oh, Miss Allie Case saying Ustream didn't stop. You must pay to have a creator account, and they're gearing toward businesses. Well, I will tell you this. Ustream was one of the first places that allowed you to stream, like live stream meetings and stuff like that. And I remember it was like in 2009, I think. I was working with a company that had paid somebody to stream their conference from, I don't know whether it was from Hawaii or whether it was from New York, or I can't remember where it was. And the streaming service that they paid, for whatever reason, didn't have enough bandwidth and couldn't do it, but Ustream could, and it was free. So then at the time when we were working with that company, we just went and used them for free. And it was a big event. I mean, I want to say there was, 10,000 people or something crazy like that. And it was a real benefit for us. But I don't know of any other streaming companies at that time that offered it for free and had the bandwidth to support the kind of thing that was going on in Ustream. But I liked Ustream because some people I don't know if I've seen her again. There was a book artist many years ago, and she would come on and she did these, she made she was Norwegian, I think. She made the most amazing books you can ever imagine, from like all kinds of stuff, like soda cans, and I used to love seeing her over there. And I never found her on YouTube. And right now I can't think of her name, but if it comes to me, I'll put it in the description box so if anybody else knows of her. But she was this amazing, talented person, and she made like all kinds of crazy books out of, like, she'd go on a morning walk and she would find, I don't know, maple leaves, and then she would come back and make, like, she would dry them, iron them, do something, and then she'd sew a signature. She'd sew some leaves together. Do you notice that more and more people are just doing their stuff on Instagram? Do you guys notice that? Oh no, I loved watching her. I don't even know how I found her. That was the other thing, is like, you could find the most obscure people on Ustream that I don't know that you could find now, you know? Yeah, she was cool. I wish I could remember her name. I'll think about it. Hopefully it'll come to me. Well, I've got a lot more pages to put in this book, and I got to cut some more paper. I don't even have any. I have more maps and atlases, and how I got over here without one is like beyond me. I got over here with no maps or atlases. Oh yeah, no, she made books out of like you know, the lids of a food can, you know, the lids of a food can. She would make books out of that. She was like, I don't know. If I find her info, I will let you guys know, because it would be you guys would totally love it. She was so good. She made lids of, like, she made that, and she made some out of barbed wire. She made some out of chicken wire, where she wove fabric in the chicken wire. She made it. She was really, I think, way ahead of her time. You know, she did a lot of avant-garde looking things, and I loved her. I know, right? Super wow. Okay, what's the newest, latest crafting supply? You guys have to tell me, because I am the last one to know anything about crafting supplies living here. I'd have to learn about it from one of you guys. What's the newest, latest crafting supply everybody's getting? Everybody's like, oh, I have to have that, whatever it is. Like when Tim Holtz came out with his little mat, how we all went and got the Tim Holtz glass mat. Scraps. That's the newest, latest things is scraps. What kind of scraps, Laura? What kind of scraps? Scraps. You're so funny. Maybe I'll put a pocket in the back of this. I don't know. Scraps. What's your newest craft supply? Scraps. Some of this is like vintage wrapping paper. Mary agrees, scraps. Guys, if you only saw my mess, you would just shake your head. But I think what I'm going to do next week is, I still have a couple of wallpaper books left, but not that many. So I think what I'm going to do next week is, I think I'm going to just make like grab bags of just random whatever I have. Because you guys, I have some cool stuff, but it is random. I mean, and when I say random, I mean random, like really random. Like really random. So, but some of it's super cool. Like, I don't know, like weird stuff. I didn't realize how weird I didn't realize how weird how odd the things I collect really are. I just like them, so I didn't think about them. What kind of scraps, Laura? What kind of scraps do you want? Are you guys going to put up Christmas trees? I asked my daughter if she wanted one, and she was like, no. We definitely aren't going to do it here, but I thought about random sounds good. Shelley, I'm so random. It's like, anyway, I'm so random that my partner came in today and he goes, it's so funny. He's like, so I think you might really like this. I'm like, what is it? You know? And it was just like that. And it was stuff I had saved, you guys. It wasn't like it didn't appear from nowhere, but it was you must have been going to do a project with it. Guys, it was like all kinds of rusty bits. But it was like bizarre rusty bits. Like we had this old table that was falling apart and the legs were rusty. So I had like a piece of that. And then we had everything rusts in Hawaii. And then it had like rusty nails. It had rusty washers. It had all these rusty things. And he goes, am I packing this in your supplies? I was like, you don't have to. I was like, you don't have to. You really don't have to. He's like, but it's so cool. And I can tell you, it was just a box of rusty pieces. I said, yeah, I do love rusty bits. I definitely love rusty bits. Use all scraps. I'm using. You do what? I don't know what that word is. A punch session? Is that what you said? Punchation. Okay, Laura, you have to explain to me what that is because I don't know what that is. Paper punches. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to send the majority of my paper punches to Defy for the hardest. I do have some paper punches, but I don't know if they work well or not because everything rusts here. So was it Lori? No, I know who Lori Marie Jenkins is. She's not from the Netherlands. She's from. No, this woman she was Norwegian. She was Norwegian. I'll think of her name. She's incredibly talented. She spoke with a very thick accent. Very, very thick accent. I'll think of her name. It'll come to me. Yeah, she was on Ustream. I used to love to watch her. Yeah, I haven't watched Lori Marie Jenkins in a while, but I did catch one of her videos the other day, and she said she's moving to Costa Rica. I was like, wow, that's a life change. That is a real life change. That is a real life change. No, this woman, she was like a serious booksmith, okay? She was like a serious bookbinder. And when you looked at, and she had her books for sale, like I don't think she had an Etsy store, but she had her books for sale, and her books were like amazing, okay? But then she had on her Ustream channel, she would just like, she'd go for a walk and she'd find whatever it was and she'd make a book from it. And I just appreciated it. It was so freeing because she didn't care what anybody thought. You know, it wasn't like it was precious. I'll remember her. It'll come to me. Just not right now. Just not in the middle of my chaotic moving. So you guys will laugh when I tell you what I'm taking with me. So I'm taking with me journals people have made me. Hi, Lori. How are you, girl? Yeah. No, it wasn't Nick the Booksmith. This is all pre-Nick the Booksmith, pre any of those other people. This lady was on Ustream for a long time. I want to say she was on there since like 2006 or 7 or something. It was something early. And I only found her randomly from like somebody I knew, like said, oh, I saw this artist and I thought you might like them. That's how I found her. It wasn't like she was so I don't even think she had that many subscribers. But how was your trip, Lori? How was your trip? You're jet lagged. Oh, Lori, I'm so sorry, girl. Hey, but that's a good reason to be jet lagged, right? How was your trip? How exciting! We were so excited that I was so excited that you guys. We haven't traveled in so long. I'm so excited. I travel vicariously with whoever else is traveling. Okay. I want these numbers. I want those numbers. Let's see. I don't think it was her, Jude, but maybe. I don't think her name was that. I think her name was Ursula, but I'm not 1,000% sure. I'll have to go figure. I'll have to go look and I'll be on a hunt for her. Maybe I'm gonna put a piece of white paper behind. Wonderful returned early due to flight cancellations and COVID spikes in Germany. Oh no. Hey Renee. Yeah, my daughter was a little bit freaked out because they're in Panama and she was like she was afraid that they were gonna make them leave early. But I told her I didn't think so because her husband's mother lives in Panama, so I didn't think that would. Your son tells me that living abroad in countries like that can be rewarding. England, France, Switzerland. Ooh, how fun. Lori, I'm looking forward to hearing all of your adventures and looking forward to hearing about it. That is so awesome. That is so, so awesome. Guys, I wish I had I didn't even bring my painty papers over here. I could put some of my painty papers. Your dollars can stretch farther. Those countries, it's much more expensive to live. The rate exchange is not generally great for Americans. I mean, I don't know now I don't know. Laura, you tell us now since the pound and since of Brexit. I don't know what it's like. What's it like since Brexit, Lori? Oh, in Costa Rica you're talking about. Oh, I thought you were talking about yes. Well, maybe that is why she's moving. I don't know. You guys, I'm so out of the loop. I'm like, have you ever felt like you're just like it just feels like I get up and I do the same thing every day. It's like Groundhog Day. I go through all my stuff, I pack up extra stuff, do paperwork, whatever. And I miss everything. And I try to have YouTube streaming on sometimes in the background of my, whatever I'm doing for that day, just so I can keep up, but it doesn't always work out that way. Plus the time difference here, you know? Food in Switzerland is outrageous. I can imagine. I can imagine. I can only imagine. Okay, I have so many more pages to fill. So get yourself a smaller book than I did. Don't put as much stuff in it as I am. I just tore out the page, like ripped them with a, I just with the straight edge. Obviously not well because they're not perfect, but it didn't really matter to me if it wasn't perfect. Let me put something in here. What do I have? Hi, Linda. How are you? How is your son? He has been in my thoughts and prayers, Lucinda. Love you, girl. Love, love, love you. You guys are all welcome to join. We have a couple of Facebook groups that people have here. We have Fibsville. Somebody should put the link to Fibsville in there. And my group is called CraftingMamas. Who else has a Facebook group on here that you wanna promote? You know, that shows arts and crafts. You know, kind of our stuff, junk journals and paper crafts. And he's not well. Well, girl, you're in my prayers. Depends on the country. Pound and the euro versus the US dollar, not worth as much. Yeah. I think the only place that the dollar's worth more is, like Cassandra's saying, in Costa Rica. And I don't know what the exchange rate with Canada is right now, but that used to really affect us here a lot, because if the exchange rate was too much, like if the exchange rate was, if the dollar, like just say Australia, for instance, if the Australian dollar was 75 cents or 60 cents to the American dollar, 60 American, do you see what I'm saying? Like there's only worth half. Then when people would come to visit, they wouldn't spend any money. They would do these all-inclusives where they never left their hotel. So it really doesn't, I mean, we would face that a lot. $3.50 for an hour. You can put it on. Thank you. So we would really see the effects of the exchange rate. The same way if, you know, if it was really good for some places, they would spend money. So $1 is $1.27 Canadian. Yeah. See, so then Canadians won't spend money here. It's hard. For those of you that don't know, I live in Hawaii, and that's why it's the only reason I'm even saying anything. Europe has been more expensive most of your life, yeah. So Aunt Becca's saying that we get together to craft and chat with Anne on Thursdays. Is that on YouTube, or is it? Did you start a Facebook group, Anne? Or are you just talking about in the little craft room that you set up? But I think in order for other people to craft with you in your craft, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think you have to be friends with somebody on Facebook before you can craft with them in your room. I think it costs $1.15 versus €1. Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, I was in England, well, obviously pre-pandemic, and it was, I don't remember. It was something like the dollar wasn't worth much. It was hard. It was like everything was like 2/3 more. It's a Facebook group. Okay, well, if Anne's here, Anne, if you're still here, if you want to post your Facebook group, chat for a second, and we'll post it. Only if you want new members. I'm not telling you to. I just think sometimes, like, it's nice to craft and chat with the people that you meet in live stream sometimes, if you're new to crafting, or if you don't have your own set group of stuff to do. Okay, current $1 equals 0.88 euro. Well, I guess that's good for. I guess it's good where you can go, like Italy or. What is it to the pound now? Okay, Aunt Beck, I'll make you a mod, and if Anne gives the okay, then you put her group in there. Okay, hang on, let me just. If Anne says okay, then please post her group in there. Post her group in the chat so people can join. Aunt Beck, what kind of Christmas card are you going to make this year? And I kind of thought I saw one, but because my Facebook thing is so limited. How much do you guys like suddenly don't see anybody you know on Facebook, and you have all these other people that you don't, you're like, where are the peeps I used to hang out with? Like, I don't see them. And I know nobody's left. It's just what Facebook decides to put up in your algorithm or whatever, however it works. Oh, wow. $1 to 75 to 75.75 pound. Yeah, well, it does make things so. I'm surprised the euro is as high as it is, because I know the speculation was once the euro went, once England left the whole thing, that it was going to go be crazy. I do have a map piece. I do. It's not a pretty one, but it's a map piece. Maybe I can do it this way. You have to answer questions to get in Anne's group. Okay, so everybody know that. If you go to try and join Anne's group, you have to answer the questions, whatever the questions are. You have to answer the questions to get in my group too, but it's okay. Usually if I can see that you guys shared the same friends, with me or some of the group members, then I'm usually good with it. But I've been getting all these like weird requests from like, I don't know, like lots of Africa and Indonesia. I never accept those because first of all, I don't read Indonesian, and I'm not trying to be biased, but I don't read it, so I don't know what if they are answering the questions or not. Yeah. And if I can't really look at somebody's page, I don't. If it says somebody has less than 10 members or less than 100 friends and it's been on Facebook or created that Facebook account in a short period of time, I usually don't let them in the group because I don't know if they're spammers, and I hate it when people spam me. So 10 minutes, 10 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Eastern. Oh, that's so nice. So did you see that? Anne is saying that, yes, you can join her Facebook group. They craft, and it's in a live Facebook room. They craft on Thursdays from 10 a.m. until they're finished, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I got to come one day, and it was fun. When I get to the East Coast, it'll be much easier because 10 a.m. for you is like 5 a.m. for me. And although I'm a morning and a night owl, I'm not usually crafting that early. No 5 a.m. for me. Four minutes. You guys head on over to Meri Atelier channel. I love you guys. I'll come back and show you guys a flip of this. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I'll come back and I'll try to finish it up tonight and then show you a flip, and yes, but you can come and go as you please. Yes, I have been in that group. That's what I said. I was lucky to go craft with you guys one day. I think I came twice, I think. I always have my intention to come, but it just never really works out. Oh, it's fun. It's fun to go craft, Cassandra. You'd love it. The other thing is that, you can have your camera on, like I have mine, where you just see my table, or you can have your camera on your face so you can see all your friends. It's so fun. Oh, thanks, Sherry. I love you guys. I really missed you. I have missed you so much, and I can't wait to give you guys my house tour, my craft room tour. Oh my gosh, I have so many plans for that craft room. I just hope that how what you have in your mind may not always be what you end up with. it'll be a cool book. You know what? She'll love it. You know what? And I'm going to find some baby pictures of her and put it in there. And I think I'm going to sew a pocket, like sew a fabric pocket. We'll do some more stamping. I'll give you guys a flip through when it's done. Cassandra, we have bounced around ideas too. Wait, what did I miss? What did you say? Yeah, it's so fun, you guys. It would be so fun. And will you guys let me know if you guys decide to do any? I mean, I don't want to make anybody have a downtime, but I would really like to send Lisa something. And I don't know if you guys are feeling the same way, but if you guys have any sort of ideas, I would like to be part of it. You know, I'd like to be part of it. I don't even know what. So, I mean, I love Lisa, and I've learned so much from her, and I always enjoy hearing her voice. She's got the most beautiful voice. So, I love you, Lucinda. Message me, okay? I'm here for you. Yeah, you too, Riri. I know, right? So, I don't know if anybody thinks of anything. I mean, I don't know. It is a nice break from your days just hanging out with each other. I love you, Anne. I miss you, girl. We have to start. Well, hopefully, when I get back to the East Coast, maybe we can resume streaming one night again together, one night a week together. Only if you want to. No, I mean, no pressure. Like, no pressure. Will somebody please put Mary's link for her channel in her stream? I love you, Miss Meridel Abrams. You are always an inspiration. Always, always, always. I always enjoy seeing what you're making. I always enjoy even just coming back and hanging out. And I love your stream of consciousness because you're definitely one of the most creative people I've ever met. I think you guys would all agree with that, right? Miss Mary. Maybe Tanya will suggest. Good call there. Just don't leave me out. Somebody message me and tell me whatever it is. If we're gonna do contributions, I want to do it. If we're planting trees in their honor, or maybe we're gonna have something made for her. I don't know. I want to be in on it. I love Lisa, and I want to be there for her too. All right, Riri girl, we're not gonna leave you out. Love you, Renee. You guys have a blessed holiday. If I can only share one thing with you, it's this. You are love, you are only love, and you are the greatest love. You don't need anything or anyone to make you whole because you are perfect just as you are. Just have a blessed, blessed holiday. I love you guys. Head on the bus. Get on the bus. Get on the bus. Get on the bus to Mary's channel. I love you guys so much. You have no idea. All right, till next time. I love you.